Hey guys, welcome back. Today is a beautiful day, and it's a perfect day to talk about our solar setup. Anything we talk about in today's video will be in a link in the description below, so you can check out any of this stuff. This is a HQST 100 watt suitcase. So what this comes with, obviously, is the solar panels. There are some alligator clips that it comes with that you can connect to your battery, as well as a nylon zip case that goes around it, as you can see here. So one drawback of this nylon case is that there is no padding, so there's nothing to protect the glass on this suitcase. So what we actually did was take the foam from the packaging when we received it in the mail and kind of carved it out a little bit to fit the front of the solar panels. So when you put it in the case, it's nice and protected. So these solar panels, they're actually really nice. They're basically the same thing as a Renogy solar panel. They're really sturdy. We've owned them for a year so far, and I don't even think we have a scratch on them. So they're working out really well so far. Let's talk a little bit more about the cables that come with the solar panel. So the alligator clips, they have MC4 connectors on them. They're a little small gauge of wire, as you can see down here on the alligator clips. They're really small gauge. The clips are actually pretty flimsy. I'm not sure I would trust those to last long. You can see they really flex around. We did upgrade the cables so that we can extend the length of the distance that we can have the solar panels away from our camper. The advantage of that is we can park the camper in the shade and still have solar somewhere where the sun is shining. So as far as the upgraded cable goes, this cable is made by Renogy. They're actually a pretty big solar company, and they make really good products. And actually, you'll see that the connectors that come with the solar panel actually say Renogy right on the connector. So HQST is using Renogy parts for their solar panels. So what we bought were these Renogy cables. They are 10 gauge, so a lot thicker wire that come on the existing wire on the solar panel. They also come pre-connected with the MC4 connectors. So they're the same connectors that come on the solar panel, so really easy to connect. 20 feet long, so we can move the solar panels pretty far away from the camper when we're parked in the shade. On the side of the toolbox here, you'll see that we've installed an external MC4 port. This is actually, it's a pretty cool unit. It's 3D printed by a guy that runs a company called Cutting Edge Power. It's really easy to install. You just drill a hole in the side of the toolbox, and then this can go right over it. It comes with wires to connect to the battery already, and then you just need to make sure that you seal around it when you get this installed. And it does have these pre-drilled holes on the corners, so all you have to do is stick some screws in there and it's nice and solid. I do recommend using Renogy cables. The connectors are a much higher quality than something you would usually find on the cheaper side. The connector's a lot more solid, and they're a lot easier to connect and disconnect, and they don't tend to break as easy. As well as the cables are just a really nice quality. The reason why we put this connector on the outside of the toolbox is to make it a lot easier, so we don't have to keep the top of the toolbox open while you're charging. If you use the alligator clips that come with the solar panel, they're going to be going through the top of the toolbox, and then you're going to end up smashing those cables with the edge of the lid. So this just makes it easy so we can keep it closed, connect right to it, and not have to worry about it. When you run the wire from the MC4 external port, you want to make sure that you use a rubber grommet so your wires don't rub and become frayed when you're traveling down the road. So the existing wires come from the external port, and they go right into the solar charge controller. This solar charge controller is what comes with that Renogy 100 watt panel. and it is directly connected to our batteries here. And then the other two come from the solar charge port on the side. The solar charge controller, it works fine. We don't have a huge battery bank. We only have these two batteries. This will run up to 24 volts if you have a 24 volt system. So if you are thinking about doing 24 volts instead of 12, this will work for you. It does have a external load port here, so you can hook up a inverter if you need to. There's also a USB port, which we've actually used to charge our phones directly from the solar panels, and it works just fine. The solar charge controller is normally mounted to the back of the solar panels, a Velcro piece where the solar charge controller usually lives. It's not a great place for it. The solar panels get really hot and could damage the solar charge controller itself. Also, with the extended wire that we have here, our 20 foot of wire, the solar charge controller needs to be closest to the battery as possible. So we relocated it to the inside of the toolbox, and it keeps it away from dust, dirt, wind, and things like that. So that was just a really quick rundown of our solar setup on our Escapade. Escapade does offer a solar panel from the factory. They mount it to the roof, so if you ever want to park your camper in the shade, you won't be able to utilize the sun to charge your batteries. So this has really improved our lives, so we can move the solar panels out into the sun and still park our camper in the shade. The other thing that's really enhanced this setup is the external solar port, so we don't have to keep this setup open to use this, so we can still secure our equipment and have our solar panels set up outside. If you have any questions about this setup, how we did it, or anything like that, just leave it in the comments down below. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next video.